Yeah, so I think Wikipedia, with what I would call true fake news, it's had almost no impact on Wikipedia. And the reason for that is the Wikipedia community obsesses over quality information. What's a good source? Is it a reliable source? All that. That's what the hobby of the Wikipedia community is, to discuss that endlessly. And so if you take a story, I remember one story that went viral during the Trump campaign that said, the headline was "Pope endorses Trump," which went viral. It was shared, thousands of times online. But that's the kind of thing that the Wikipedians would not fall for that. They would look at it and they would say, well, first of all, popes never endorse political candidates, and then this particular pope is quite famously said to be like a really nice guy, so it doesn't seem like he would endorse Trump. And then you look at the source and you say, oh, that's not even a real newspaper, you do some checks and so on. So it never makes it into Wikipedia in the first place. In the same way, like the viral spread of fake news is people who are not Wikipedians, they aren't news junkies, they're ordinary people who take a minor interest in the news, and they see something that either excites them or frightens them, and they share it without a lot of thought. And that's a problem. I think for Wikipedia, the bigger problem with the current media sort of landscape and all the problems of the profession of journalism is the number of working journalists has declined, and that's particularly true at the local level. And you can't write the history of a local community if it's never been created. You have to make a distinction between, which Donald Trump does his best to obliterate, the distinction between fake news, low-quality media, and things Donald Trump doesn't like. And similarly, you have to say it in the other direction, right? Just to say, just because I agree with this, that doesn't make it quality. And so, what we look at are quite old-fashioned standards of, is it a legitimate journalistic organization? Do they run corrections? That sort of thing. But of course, we have to be vigilant. Its neutral point of view is one of the fundamental tenets of Wikipedia. And it's important that we try to be factual even about, I don't know, Adolf Hitler, right? You don't want to just sort of be unremittingly negative for no reason. You want to be factual always. But I think in the Wikipedia community, the values of the community are very strongly oriented around that. And I think even members of the community who would identify themselves as being anti-Donald Trump believe that the most effective way to be anti-Donald Trump is to be ruthlessly factual. You don't need to have a bias in order. And this is actually an interesting, we've seen this in the past on contentious issues. You can have people who say, it's actually really important that we get the facts right. And even very ideological people believe that, look, if everybody understood the facts as I do, they would agree with me.